Alright everybody, welcome back to Strong Dad. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Alright, so this is Pull A Back Day in the road to recovery for my crappy shoulder. Starting out here with some lat pulls. Last time I was complaining about, or stating that, I couldn't really feel the bottom part of my lat. So did some reading, did a little research. And basically what you're going to want to do is pull that bar further down. You see I was rocking before, and now I've gone to a more stationary upper body position. Trying to pull that bar to the base of my chest, right above, not as low as the solar plexus, but probably, I guess, to my nipples or right at the bottom of my chest. And there, with that angle, without the rocking, I am able to feel kind of that bottom part of my lat. So that's, to me, that's kind of the key. You can see my forearms drifting down a little bit where I'm breaking my wrists. Feel free to comment if that's wrong, but the reps themselves felt good. So I think maybe whenever I broke my wrist, I was trying to pull a little bit too low on my body. So here, these reps feel pretty good. Starting set was at about 70 pounds on the plates, and I think I ended the last set will be at like 141. So at this point, especially on the pulling days, back days, I'm starting to creep the weights up going into that first round of a strength program, because my problem was really on pressing movements on my right shoulder. So all right, third set, creeping up the weight again, trying to maintain that rigid body position. I've got the knee pads down to where my legs can't move. I can kind of use my hips and core to brace and keep that same body position. Now as the weight goes up, you'll see that the body does tend to rock a little bit. Just do your best to keep control of that. By the way, my new motto is kind of the anti-Brad Castleberry. If you know Kenny KO, his saying was pants down, shirts off, or shirts off, pants down anytime Brad Castleberry was going to do a set. My saying is now shirts on, bellies out. But hopefully not for long. Eventually the goal is to have my boobs sticking out further than my belly. So I left this in. There's a guy at the gym. He'll come by and chit chat with me every time. If you're at the gym, don't be afraid to make friends or whatever. Talk to somebody. It's a social thing. A lot of times I see guys that want to walk around and be macho and not talk to anybody, but say hey to people. Especially if you see the same people all the time. You know they've seen you. Give them a what's up, and all of a sudden you got a little conversation in the gym. Kind of lightens the mood. He was telling me he's going to take his mom on a cruise. He's about to go on vacation and just eat. No working out. Just eat. Anyway, back to it. A lot of times you'll find in the gym that guy with the mean face is probably the nicest guy in the gym a lot of times. Just depending on how you approach people. So again, the weight's getting a little bit heavier now. A little bit of body motion going into it. But I'm trying to still keep that body angle back to really hit on the lat. So that must have been the 140 pound set. Again, I like the hyperextensions. And again, both the lat pull down and these hyperextensions will go into deadlifts next. To me, they're both good warm-up exercises for the deadlift. You kind of get the upper back and the lats with the pull down, and then with the extensions here, get that lower back and butt. Kind of warm up your thighs, stretch your thighs out a little bit. I need a haircut. So again, trying to keep the back in a neutral position, extending far enough down that I feel a nice stretch in my butt and my hamstrings. I don't really roll my back forward. You can try to see, especially my upper back stays in neutral position. There is an extension of the lower back, but that's kind of the nature of the exercise. I guess what I'm trying to say is stay away from that cat bowing. At least for me, it makes my back hurt. So I go down as far as I can do it without, having a sore back the next day. Sore in a bad way, not working out sore. Just do 3 sets here of 10. A lot of times I'll do these sets for time, like 30 seconds or a minute, but since I'm using it as kind of a warm-up today, I just do 3 sets of 10. Alright, deadlifts. So since I'm already warmed up, I just went straight to my working weight because it's light. 135 here, just one plate on each side. Kind of see how I approach the bar, get my shins about an inch from the bar, kick my butt out, keep him back in neutral position. I could probably keep my neck a little bit in alignment better as opposed to tucking my chin like that. And I like a double overhand grip, hang grip, whatever you want to call it. I don't like the traditional over-under grip for deadlift. Kind of doing a rollback, kind of a shrug movement at the end. You don't have to do that. That's not really part of a deadlift, but I just kind of do it naturally, so I don't fight it. Be doing all the sets here at this weight today again. Deadlift's not really my lift. It's a good lift. It's an important lift, but like I said, I'll work the weight up on this, but it's not a big priority for me. I just do it enough to say that I'm doing it. Keep that back chain active, you know. Again, if anybody sees anything that I could improve on the lift or do different or whatever, you can see I don't have a lot of leg drive in mine. I've got longer arms, so basically a lot of mine comes from coming straight up my legs, pulling through my butt. I don't really use a lot of squat, I guess, in the deadlift like some people might. Try to set. This is one of the few lifts I try to set up the same way every time. If you got a belly like me, you got to make room for your belly. That's why my knees are a little bit further apart, toes pointed outwards, and then knees lined up on the toe line. You know, so as you go down, your belly has a place to go. If your stance is too narrow, you're basically just going to be constricting yourself. If you got a really big belly, I guess lift sumo. Alright, feeling good. Deadlifts. All right, now we're to chest supported rows on the hammer machine. This first set is just with a 45 on each side, kind of a warm up, really just get the feel. And the way I set it for this, I set the seat to where those handles, whenever I pull back, those handles are coming to the base of my lats. So that way it's kind of working mid-back. Because the last time I did rows, it was more of a high T row, kind of hitting up across the shoulders. So this is just set up so I could pull down low. Of course, on this machine, palms up. I guess you could do palms down if you wanted. Wouldn't be very comfortable, but so first set, kind of a warm up. So I've added a 35, so we've got 80 pounds on each hand. Again, sinking the weight in. This is one of those machines you'll see people kind of just jerking the weight or doing a pop. A short rep or I can't think of the word now. A partial rep. This is one of the ones I do like to get full extension on this one and pull it back in. There are times though I'll just do one hand at a time and maybe shorten the stroke up a little bit. I'll go over that sometime whenever I do it because there's a certain body position you want to hit to be able to get in on those lats. Kind of get that lat activated. If this will actually no, it'd be on the other machine, not this machine. But in any case, you can do this one-handed as well. And that's one of the advantages of the hammer machines over, say, like a cable machine. Each hand is has its own side. It's unilateral. Feeling good about this point in the workout. I shortened up the rest periods a little bit to a minute 30. I think I did 2 minutes on the deadlifts, and that was it. Now this is a shot here. This shot, I thought I was popping on the bicep as I was recording it, but I guess the lighting is not very good. It just kind of looks flat because I could have sworn I was like, oh man, my bicep's looking good today. Not so much. You can kind of see that I get a pretty good pump, but you can see a little bit better on the left arm. Again, if you look in the background, the weight's not heavy. I think this might be 15 pounds. Just doing it for sets, a little bit longer set. And I do jump the weight up. I think I finish at 25 or 30 pounds. And there again, biceps just never been something that I've focused on, so it never really was developed back whenever I was playing ball or anything like that. So it's one area that does kind of lack as far as if you want to look at physique, which I'm not really a physique guy, but But we throw it into the mix now because if nothing else, it gives your grip a little break, and also it gives your back a break from, you know, say deadlifts, the lat pull downs, everything we've already done. Left arm's looking pretty good. One of these days I'll have to do Rich Piana's 8-hour bicep program on a Saturday or something. Stuff like that's fun. It just breaks the monotony sometimes of working out. You can kind of see how I'm gripping the bar here. I'm kind of capping the thumb. With my thumb, I'm capping the end of the bar, and the pressure on my hand is on the left side of my palm. So really I'm trying to simulate that kind of twisting motion as you're coming up. So I cap the end of the handle, see it like that, see the thumb there? And then the pressure is on the inside part of my hand, or the knife part of my hand, I guess. And that way you're kind of simulating that full flex of the bicep as you come up, but your arm's in the same position the whole time. It's just where you're putting the pressure on your hand. Sometimes you'll even see that my pointer finger will be pointing. The only thing gripping the handle is my pinky and ring finger and the thumb. But again, I don't have crazy biceps, so don't take my word for it yet. Alright, some flies, shoulder flies. You'll see here, depending on what you want to do with the flies, the way I'm starting out here, I'm actually hitting more of the front delt, because you'll see my pointer finger is higher than my pinky finger whenever I finish the rep, meaning my palms are kind of facing the camera as we're looking at it. But you see there, I made a shift in the last couple of reps where my pinky is higher, and so the palm is kind of facing to the outside. That small transition there changes the focus of what muscles are being hit. I do the rest of the sets like that with my pinky finger higher. So that kind of puts it on more your mid-rear delt, and then across your shoulders with a little bit of trap in there, and it just feels good across the shoulder, the back, top of your back. But that's all that's the biggest difference is one, the pointer finger is higher. On the other one, the pinky finger is higher on the upside when the rep is finished up. If you'll think about it, holding your arm straight out to the side, and then like you're gonna pour out a glass of water. That's kind of how you want your hands to be in the finishing position, kind of like you're pouring out a glass of water. Here we got dumbbell shrugs. So we see I talked about shrugs in another video with the bar. I do them the same way with the bar or with dumbbells. Just kind of rolling it up and hold for a pause. I find that helps me feel the trap better. If just banging out reps you can feel the trap better, by all means do it your way. But for me, that's just the way I can feel the trap a little bit better, is that pause at the top. Just doing 60 pounds here, we're getting back into it. But I think before I would use 75s maybe, never anything super heavy. I just find it's just not, I don't get a good range of motion. I don't get a good pause at the top if I go too heavy. And if anybody's curious, Project 2024 was, it was a judo thing put on by Travis Stevens. He's an American silver medalist. Trains out of Massachusetts at Jimmy Pedro's place. At least he did. I don't know if he does now. But when my daughter was competing in judo, we supported this. Now it's just a workout shirt. Alright, I like rows so much, we went ahead and did another set of rows. It's more of a higher T row. The seat is a little bit lower. On this one, I'm making sure my hands stay above my elbows, kind of keeping those elbows in that V position. Reposition the camera, I think, after this set so you can get a better shot of the back. So where the other row we were doing palm down at the bottom of the lats, kind of hitting that mid back, this is getting more of the top back, those rhomboids up top. At least that's the way it feels to me. Some of the trap, keeping it higher, tucking it into the armpit there at the end, keeping my elbows not down tucked to my side, but like a 45 degree in relation to my body. And I think here I started out light. I think I started out at 70 or 75 pounds, and I think the last set I worked my way up to 200 on this. Again, because I never really had trouble on the pulling side of things. It was mainly the bench press side of things whenever I was injured. So pulling exercises should work their way up in weight a little bit faster, just as we feel. And that's the workout.